Good afternoon YouTube, welcome back to the Big Kent Coast Hike, part number 3. I'm here at Rochester Castle, where we left off last time with a big Medway welcome. I'm not pointing at you, I'm pointing at me. And today I'm going to be doing a day hike. It's going to be a tale of two halves here. It's going to be urban Medway. I'm going to be passing through Rochester, Chatham, Gillingham and Rainham on my way to the Sheppey Crossing. The Medway section is going to be very urban, and then the second part is going to be very much marshes and out in the countryside, very quiet, very isolated. So I'm going to have a little look around the castle here. Most of it's closed, well, the castle grounds here are. It's the King's coronation tomorrow. Today's Friday, coronation's on Saturday, and looks like they're gearing up for a big event here. So can't go into the grounds and don't really have time to go into the keep, so we're just going to get down to the riverside and get on with the walk. Let's go. Rochester Castle is Medway's #1 tourist attraction. Built by the Normans in the 11th century, it is considered one of the finest urban castles in southeast England. Rochester is a great place for a pub crawl, and I can tell you that from personal experience. Lots of building work going on. Seems like riverside living is the way to go. It's the future of North Kent. So Rochester is a very nice town, formerly a city, nowadays it's a town. But we've got no real time to hang around. It's an early start today. I've got myself a big coffee for the walk, and here we go down to the creek. Well, it didn't take long, but we've already come up against our first obstacle, so we can't go along that way. So back inland we go. Right, so been rerouted back the way I came, and come to this railway bridge to get back down onto the road, and it's all blocked off. All fenced off, breeze blocks, the whole lot. So I'd have to walk all the way pretty much to where I came. So no, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna climb this fence. It was too tricky to get a footing in the end, so I just crawled underneath. If I'd have spilt my coffee, I'd have been very unhappy. So the Saxon Shoreway heads up into town, over a hill I believe, into Chatham, but I'm trying to stay as close to the shore as possible. Obviously the shore path is closed off at the moment, so it's a long walk along this road until we get to Chatham, then we can get back onto the shore. Jollof, Caribbean cuisine. Oh yes, now you're talking. Absolutely no end of scaffolding and building work going on, and it is about time. They're saying here that millions of pounds are being invested in Chatham to make it a better place for you to live, work, learn and visit. And it's about bloody time as well, because it's been going into decline for such a long time now, and it has potential, you know. It's so close to London, and it could be a great place to live. Unfortunately, Chatham is best known now for its past glories, like the Historic Dockyard and Naval Association here, and also being the home of the word chav. The word chav originated here in Chatham. So long before chav became a word that everyone knew and used to describe a certain type of youth, it was already a word that I knew of because I'm from this area. It's actually a Romany word and it just means boy, really, boy or bloke, but it got certain connotations from the travelling community and the locals, and for some reason it just spread like wildfire. There was a rumour that it stood for council housed and violent, but no, it was around a lot longer than that. Alright, it's time for lunch. Jerk chicken patty from Jar Love restaurant. Wash down with a bit of Calypso. Yeah, that hits the spot. Alright, we're still on the coast path, as you can see. We've got the Historic Dockyard this side. A bit further down is the Dickens world, after Charles Dickens, who lived in Rochester for a long time. Don't think we're going to see anything for a while. It's just going to be this wall alongside us. So over in this direction is the Historic Dockyard. Don't have time to go in there today. That's like a full day tour, that is. And it's quite expensive, I believe, to get in as well. But these warehouses here look like they're open, so we can have a quick look at these. So I'm following signs for the coast path, and it just seems to be taking me way out of where I was expecting to go, which is adding to the mileage. Nice little walk along here. I like these Scandinavian type houses, but yeah, kind of want to get back on track really. Guys, I've cocked up here. I thought I was following the signs for the England coast path going east. Turns out they were actually going west. So I've walked up all this way, and now I can't walk any further along the coast. This is the way I want to be going. The coast path was going off in that direction. So I've got to find my way all the way back to where I was about 20 minutes ago. So over here is where I want to be, but because all of this is fenced off and private land, I now have to go back on myself over here, across that bridge there, and all the way around. Back over the bridge we go. So St Mary's Island has loads of private footpaths, and they're not marked private on the map. It's very annoying because you get there and everything's fenced off, and trespassers will be prosecuted, signs everywhere. So what looked like a path down there to get over to the other side of the water was completely fenced off and private, so I had to come all the way back. So it's back onto the main roads. This one is called Pier Road, and we're now entering Gillingham, I believe. And you might have noticed I've got my Gillingham Football Club, the mighty Gillingham, the only team in Kent. And this is probably the oldest piece of clothing I've got. I've had this since I was 13 years old in 1995. I don't know how it's lasted so long. The fashion then, for football kits anyway, was to have ridiculously oversized shirts. So it still fits very well. In fact, it's almost too big still on the sleeves. But anyway, I digress. We've got a long walk now along this charming dual carriageway. Well, I just absolutely power walked down that dual carriageway. It wasn't pretty. Made up some the lost time though that we lost on St Mary's Island. Now heading back down to the river to an area called the Strand. Can't tell you how nice it feels to be back by the river. Over there is Hoo Island. There's a big fort on that island, I believe. You can only get there by kayak or boat. And over this way is the Isle of Grain, where we were last time. Got a nice little stretch here where we can go along the river, away from the busy roads. Now this is a bit more like it. This is actual riverside walking, much nicer. It is turning into a really nice walk now, folks. The sun is shining, it's peaceful. You can still hear the drum of the road just behind us, but compared to the dual carriageway, it's very peaceful anyway. And beautiful views, look at this. Until the year 1900, Horrid Hill was an island. Why is it called Horrid Hill, you might ask? Some say that it commemorates the sufferings of prisoners held on nearby Halves. Some say it's from the island's supposed use as a location for hangings. The more likely answer is due to its usage as a squalid cement works in the early 1900s. Alright, so that's Horrid Hill done. Wasn't that horrid? At least not now that I'm off of it. There's another hill over there called Motney Hill, which again doesn't look like much of a hill, but won't be visiting that one because it's mostly known for sewage works, and we've already seen a couple of those on this walk-in tour. Not today, another day previously. So now we'll be getting out of Medway, out into the villages of Kent, and it's going to feel like quintessential Kent, this sort of Darling Buds of May kind of Kent, Garden of England kind of areas at last, before getting into some more industry around the Isle of Sheppey. Nice little paddling pool. Now I feel like I'm walking in Kent. Orchards, boxes, farms, narrow country roads with no pavements. I have to say, not my favourite. Oh, it's alright, 2 seconds later and the world's most narrow pavement appeared. Just about getting my feet in there. Ah, it's that proper countryside smell, you know, that lovely, it's that. Good news now is that we've left most of the busy roads and the country roads behind. Now, lovely scenery, lovely and green here by the river, very quiet. Yeah, this is nice. It feels like a milestone passing Medway, you know. Medway is very urban, it feels almost like an extension of London in a way. So to have come past it, feels like we're properly in Kent now, and it's going to feel like Kent for the rest of the trip, all the way round to Folkestone. I'm seeing absolutely tons of these orchards with the white blossom in, and I don't know, I feel like I should know what they are, but I don't. So if you can get in the comments, people, let me know what they are. It is absolutely beautiful along here, so peaceful. Definitely somewhere I'd consider for a wild camp in the future. Looks like they're setting up for a wedding here, look. Very cute. And look at this for a mightily impressive ship. I was not expecting to see that there. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere for a little while, but it's pretty damn cool. Right, it's back inland now, unfortunately, guys, through the village of Lower Halstow. Times like this, I wish I had a pair of jeans on. Damn nettles. Hi there. Alright, we've got some great news, guys. We've got some road walking. And I'm not being sarcastic, this is great news because this road is closed. Got it all to ourselves. So just walking through the country path, just past the derelict brickworks here, and it's turning into a bit of a jungle. Not much of a trail here at all. Right, we're on top of the one and only hill on this trip, Butts Hill, I think it's called. I might be mistaken, I'll put it on the screen. Looking back towards Lower Halstow over there, Medway, Hoo Peninsula over there, the Isle of Grain that way. You can just about make out Sheppey Crossing there if I zoom in. Absolutely tremendous view. See what I did there? Tremendous. I feel like Theresa May running through these fields of wheat. Woo! Right, so I've now left the trail I was on up in the hill there, and I'm on Raspberry Hill Lane now, which probably isn't the safest road to be walking on. But the trail that I was supposed to be following for the Saxon Shoreway just kind of disappeared. I don't know if it was the overgrowth or what, but the Saxon Shoreway, as well as it's signposted and trail marked, it isn't well maintained at all. Like like I showed you before, it was like a jungle there, and this up here, it's just completely disappeared. I mean, there's not many people who walk it, obviously. A bit more footfall would, you know, make it more into a defined footpath, but it's just impossible to follow at some point. So here we are. At least now we're back on the shore. Alright, we're about 20 miles in now, guys, and this is where it starts to get difficult psychologically. So there's our finish point, the Sheppey Crossing. However, the shore goes around this way, Chetney Marshes, and all the way around. So it's very much taken a long way round, whereas I've just come off Raspberry Hill Lane just here, literally just the other side of these trees here, and I could go straight on and be there pretty quickly. So this is where it's tough, but I want to do this properly, so let's do this shore, let's get this done. I don't think you're going to be able to see this signpost here because of the lighting, but that's basically saying we now can't go any further that way, which is west, which is not the way we want to be going anyway. We're heading north for a little while, and then finally east, and our end point. So the animals here definitely are not used to humans. I mean, you get close to them and they just go crazy like that. Pheasants, geese, rabbits, there's tons of them, but you can't get anywhere near them without them going absolutely mental and just getting out of there as noisily and as quickly as possible. More prickly bits to my legs. Cobweb there. Ow. Prickly, prickly, prickly. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh, God. Homewards we go. Grain Fort over there, looking a bit closer than it was just a bit earlier. Isle of Sheppey there. Reminds me of my walk last year. My most popular video on YouTube so far, apart from a 3-minute Ben Nevis one. Walked right along here to Queenborough around the corner. 34 miles in one day. I was obviously a lot fitter then than I am now because I'm struggling after 24 today, and I'm struggling in this, walking in this. I think I'm gonna head down to the bottom here, but first I've got to wade through the brambles again. Just imagine you're looking over into the river, you're looking at the crossing, not minding where you're going, and bam! Look at that for a rabbit burrow. Right ankle breaker there. Almost there. As you can see, the Sun setting there behind the clouds. Not much of a sunset this evening. Nearly there. And that's the end of the video, guys, the end of part 3 of the Kent Coast Walk. Today has been a good day. I've enjoyed it, especially once we got past Medway. I always thought that was sort of where Kent started, really. When Medway ends is when we get into the real Kent, and it's nice getting through the orchards and everything else. I would say the highlight of the day was Lower Halstow. It was really nice around there. I've never been to that particular part of Lower Halstow before. So yeah, really good day. Next part is going to be from here to Faversham. That's going to be another day hike, and then after that is going to be Faversham to Margate. So we're getting right out into the coast of Kent proper. Thanks for joining me then, guys, and hope to see you on the next one. Cheers.